sugar.
Her Oscar for Mary Poppins, and her hidden childhood despair.
You weren't a whole lot above poverty level at that time.
No, we weren't.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, even though the sound of it is something quite atrocious.
In bookstores right now, Julie Andrews' memoirs. And let me tell you, Mary Poppins, she is not. Mary Hart takes you inside the not-so-innocent life of the film icon.
A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down.
In Mary Poppins, she was the magical, perfect nanny to adoring children, but childhood was no fairy tale for Julie Andrews.
You weren't a whole lot above poverty level at that
No,
time.
we weren't.
Your parents
No,
weren't, I
no.
should say.
It was very crazy. My stepfather was an alcoholic, and my mother eventually became that way too. Life was difficult, but I didn't know anything else.
Now, 72, Andrews looks back in Home, a memoir of my early years, revealing a childhood at the hands of her abusive stepfather.
What about the violence?
He was an abusive man. I'd say he was quite cruel to my brothers. He hit them a lot and things like that. Mostly we all managed to somehow pull through.
And that same stepfather, a British music hall singer, nurtured the little girl's talent.
My stepfather decided to give me singing lessons as an attempt to get close to this stepdaughter that didn't like him very much.
By 10, little Julia Wells took on her stepfather's surname, Andrews, and became her family's breadwinner.
This was not a time when you were staying at home and going to school
Right.
and getting an education. You really never
Very
had that
little
chance.
education, in fact. But mostly the education was coming from life and being out in the English music halls and touring endlessly round and round England.
By 19, she was on Broadway, starring in The Boyfriend. 2 years later, it was My Fair Lady, and then came Camelot with Richard Burton. And in 1964, at 28, she made her first movie, Mary Poppins with Dick Van Dyke. The film, available in a special 40th anniversary DVD, won her the Oscar.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Shortly before beginning that movie, Julia gave birth to her first child, Emma, with whom she has written 16 children's books.
It's quality time for us. We laugh a lot, drink endless cups of tea, and
I just
roll
thought you were
about.
going to say drink endlessly.
Yeah. Well, that too, when we can, yes. That too.
And there are so many more stories from Julie, like why she kept her Oscar in the attic and being seduced by Elizabeth Taylor's ex.
He behaved kind of badly.
Julie Andrews' new book, Revelations. Did she have an affair with Richard Burton?
Then he came to my dressing room.
Not one night, but several.